In Taiwan, we teach English as an English foreign language. That is EFL. English in EFL countries isn't as important as ESL countries. That's why Taiwan seems to have less competitions in the world. However, However, we can see our young generation is getting cleverer and cleverer. We can see their attitude toward English is more cleverly than the adults. Nevertheless, no one can predict what kind of life way they are going to lead in the future. Maybe they have to study abroad. Maybe they have to do some international policies. Now, it's not the problem of which country is more powerful today. It's the requirement of a unique international language. High technology and development of civilization are not created by a certain country, but together by people all over the world. In my opinion, a successful person in the future is not only required to speak English in public, but also they have the ability to communicate in English. That's so that people all over the world can understand him. In Asia, many countries like Hong Kong, Singapore are now teaching the young English. English is also spoken in their daily life. Now, we can see these countries has become the center of international trading. Likewise, think of Taiwan. Don't you think Taiwan have this requirement too? But why do we have to start from elementary level? Because children is a period of creative power and interest of learning. Many countries know it's necessary to promote the level of citizens' English. Children have this great advantage of learning English. English is so an important thing that we should do in the future. And Taiwan is such a great place which has its unique and wonderful culture. Only if we have the ability of this international language can we get more involved in the global village. That's all. Thanks for your
9号3分52秒。
10号同学请上台，11号同学请准备。
Good afternoon, my dear principal, judges, and school fellows. Today, my topic is the difficulties I have with learning English. Oh, no wonder! Your English is so good! When my friends know my mother is an English teacher, they always say that kind of words to me. And this kind of words always put me under a lot of pressure. Actually, it is not that easy for me to learn English well. As a girl with a poor memory, I always misspelled words and had difficulties memorizing long words, not to mention those complicated grammatical rules. They always drove me crazy. More than once, I forgot to use past tense, so I was often scolded not only by my teachers, but also by my dear mom. However, through a lot of tests, I could finally overcome them. At that time, I became more confident of myself too. I thought my English was okay when I was heading for England for my English course like the summer vacation. But a girl from Hong Kong disillusioned me. She looked cute and was younger than I. She asked me where my roommate was, and we started chatting. When I was talking about my brother, I continually mixed up he and she, which really confused her. So she asked me, Hey, are you talking about your brother or your sister? Oh God, get it right! Her question really embarrassed me, and her arrogant way of speaking really hurt me and made me feel inferior. Despite this, we became friends, and she was always the speaker, and I was always the listener. All I could do was say, yes, no, nod my head, or keep smiling. And what was worse, I had trouble with my teacher's British accent, so I had to rely on others to translate from me. And that's why I feel so awful about myself. I dared not speak out, but I made friends, and they were very curious about Taiwan, so we talked a lot. They encouraged me to speak out and told me it wasn't a big deal to make mistakes. I also worked hard to keep up with others, especially that Hong Kong girl. I spent my leisure time reviewing my lessons, borrowed a book from the library, and looking up new words. As time went by, I made progress, and I could understand what the teacher said completely without others' help. Even better, I could exchange opinions with others. This trip was really unforgettable because it made me understand how poor my English was and opened up opportunities to improve. And from then on, this experience also intensified me to motivation my English. In spite of so many difficulties I have encountered, and I believe I can overcome all of them with continuous practice. Here I am, standing on the stage, though I'm still nervous, but I'm sure this will be a unique experience for me to grow. Thank you for your attention.
10号4分13秒。
11号同学请上台，12号同学请准备。
My dear principal, teachers, and schoolmates, good afternoon. Well, today I would like to talk about my difficulties with learning English. I still remembered when I was a junior high school student, I have a very interesting English. She made English become appeal to me. She always told us, whatever you learn, you need determination, hard working. Above all, don't be above asking questions. And just try it. Therefore, I was ahead of my classmates in English. Well. When I became a senior high school student, it was just not the same like before. The grammar is all Greek to me, and I always forgot the vocabulary and phrases. At first, I was only accustomed to the lessons that all senior high school students in Taiwan had to learn. No pains, no gains. From then on, in order to adapt myself to the new environment, I studied around the clock. And nevertheless, I discovered that I was still lag behind others in my class. It seemed no matter what I've tried, it didn't make any influences on my grades. It seemed that I couldn't do anything right. At that time, I was at a loss and didn't know what to do. So I went to my teacher who taught me English when I was a junior high school student. I told her I couldn't get good grades in English tests recently. She just looked at me and said, "Who do you think should answer for your grades? You can't watch your grades become lower and lower with folded arms." Well, I felt guilty, so I told her how hard I've tried to make my English better. She gazed at me with misunderstanding. She said, "Bad grades accounted for your wrong methods to study English. It's no account whether you are intelligent or not." After talking to her, I felt I must do something to show her my efforts. First, I made a study project and set up many goals, just like before. However, I finally knew where the problem was. I tried hard not to build a castle in the air and put my project into force with all my heart. And then I can surely find that I really learn more bit by bit. And I really don't have to study around the clock anymore. The most of all, I still love English. And I won't abandon myself to disappear just because I think I was stupid. I really appreciate my English teacher. It is needless to say, without her, I couldn't find a solution to my difficulties. And I can never have this chance to stand here to talk all of you. This is my speech. Thank you for your attention.
第1号4分29秒。
12号同学请上台，13号同学请准备。
Good afternoon, my dear principal, honorable guests, teachers, and schoolmates. My number is 12. My topic is, should Taiwan begin its English education at the elementary level? Should Taiwan begin its English education at the elementary school level? Becoming a developed country, Taiwan has to contact with many other nations. Each nation has a different language. Doubtless, English is the most worldwide one. Due to this reason, it is not only important, but also necessary for us to learn English well. In the past, it is normal for us to learn English as a second foreign language. To keep up with this speedy information epoch, this education system is no longer suitable. Generally saying, it is really helpful if we begin our elementary school with English. Sorry. Take myself, for example. I've studied English since I was 10 years old. Though I didn't take it seriously, this kind of training makes my studying in English more efficient. Secondly, if we practice saying English when we are infants, we can promote our English speaking ability. And it's really good for us to begin our English education at elementary level. Although it seems so wonderful to begin English education at elementary school, but we cannot ignore the drawbacks. One of my friends said, elementary school is the best time for children to learn their mother tongue. If we put stock in English too much, we will lose our traditional cultures. Doesn't that mean we attend to the superficials and neglect the essentials? We really need to think about that.